So commonly used terms, I'm basically, this is glossary of commonly used terms. I put out these words. Most of these are common terms, but when we are actually on the side as a founder or as a startup guy, we kind of tend to ignore these things, and we're just too excited to move forward. So let me just talk about these terms. So who is issuing the note or the stock? So people are confused. Who is actually issuing the note? शेयर्स कहाँ से इशू होंगे? मुझे अपने शेयर्स देने पड़ेंगे? Will I have to sell my shares to the, or will my co-founder have to give the share? How will we divide shares? How I go? So basically, you should know who is issuing. So there are multiple ways. One is you sell your shares. Two is your co-founder or the other shareholders sell their share. Third is company issues a new stock or new shares. And company, which is the most common thing, because as an investor, if I had to put money, I would put it into the company and not give it to the founder, because company needs money. When company has money, it will use the money to grow, which is very simple. So sometimes it's kind of confusing, but these are terms you should know. Valuation. Now valuation is a very simple term. We keep hearing कि now it's a unicorn, or ये 100-500 million का valuation हो गया, या on an early stage it's valued at 30 crore, 50 crore, 10 crore, 5 crore. So valuation is, we will after this next I'm taking is valuation only and ways of valuating, but valuation is the value at which the company is decided. So इसके अंदर there are two words that are very critical that I wanted to emphasize: pre-money and post-money. I don't know if some of you might be aware of it, but for the others, pre-money is the valuation of the company before the investor puts in money. So suppose your company's valuation is decided at 10 crores. The investor says, I am putting in 2 more crores. So now the net valuation of company is 12 crores. 10 crore was valued, 2 crore of cash comes in the bank. So 2 crore plus value of the company is 12 crore. At the same time, the investor can say, at 10 crore, I will take 20%. Now, this is not same as the previous case. Now, technically, your valuation is 10 crores after that 2 crores. So, they are valuing it at 8 crores, adding 2 more crores. So, now it is 10 crores. So, they are taking 20%. In the first case, their share was a little less than 20. It was 2 divided by 12, which is 1/6, which is around 17%. But now it is 20%. So sometimes people get confused between what is pre-money valuation, what is post-money valuation. So you have to understand these things. What is the amount being offered? So I mean, it's a very easy amount being offered is the money that's invested by the investor. But these amount being offered sometimes come in cash or sometimes comes in kind. Kind is they would give some services free of cost. Suppose a technology company comes and decides to invest, or suppose the Times of India comes and decides to invest. So they would give advertisement worth 10 crores free to you, or maybe 5 crores free to you. So amount could be in cash and kind. So you have to see what is the amount being offered. Shares and share price. This is also critical. Generally, during this startup, people talk about valuation. Now my valuation has come from 10 million to 20 million. But ऐसा नहीं हुआ. So if I had invested 1 crore at 10 million valuation, at 20 million, my value is not 2 crores. Although startup is 2x. My valuation individually is going to be decided at number of shares I hold multiplied by the share price at that time. And what is the share price? Share price is the price at which the latest shares are being issued. So suppose first round happened at 2 million and the second round is happening at 10 million. So 2 million share price was suppose 5,000 rupees. Now it's going to be let's assume 25,000 rupees. So my valuation is 500 shares multiplied by 5,000 initially, and then 500 shares multiplied by 25,000 shares. So if anyone is not clear, you can just say in between, because I'm just trying to help you ease out with these terms which are commonly used and people don't talk of. Liquidation preference. Liquidation preference is, suppose, God forbid, but it happens that you have to shut down your company, and suppose 50 lakhs are remaining in the company. So who will get those 50 lakhs? People with preference share will get that 50 lakhs first, and then it will go to the other shareholders. So there is a liquidation preference. It typically goes to firstly to the creditors or the people who the company owes money with. They have the first right, and even after that, if money is saved, it goes to preference shares first and then normal shareholders. So you have to understand these terms. Are you issuing preference shares? Are you issuing normal shares? You know. IPO is initial public offering, which after that your company becomes a listed company and it's a listed entity on any of the stock exchanges, and then it's freely tradable. Before that, it is generally between the investors and the new investor, but after IPO, people can trade your company publicly. Like a Reliance share, I can go and buy on any stock exchange any day, but like a Paytm, I cannot go and buy because it's not listed. Strategic buyout is someone buys you out or someone buys 100% of your shares. It's called a strategic buyout. Next slide, please. Voting rights. So during the term sheet, they would say voting right and board seat, I'll take them together. They can say we will want a board seat and we will want a voting right. So investor comes in, is one of the board of the directors, then he has a voting right. During the board meeting, he can easily tell or put in his views and talk about things, and then he has that voting power, and it could be one board seat with two voting rights also. So you have to see during the term sheet what is conversion pool. Now this is very interesting for founders. This is something that people don't talk about. I will take conversion pool option and anti-dilution provisions together. Conversion options is there are number of shares that you can keep which are going to be converted at a later date. So suppose an investor invests into something and they say, I will get number of shares depending upon your next round of funding. I will get that at 25% discount. So suppose your share price was 1,000 rupees in the previous round. Next round happens at 1,500. So this guy, his shares will be converted at a 25% discount to 1,500. So he will get it 1150 or whatever that value comes. Now anti-dilution provision. This is from the founder side. So you can keep a reserve of 5 to 10% as employee stock option or as a pool of shares which will not be diluted. So not be diluted meaning is a very critical thing for a founder. So not be diluted means you've kept 10% as employee stock options. So when your company is diluted, that 10% will always stay 10% till the terms we have agreed on. So suppose initially 90% was yours, 10% you put it in ESOP, an investor comes in, buys 10%. So he will get only 9, that 10 will remain undiluted. Next round, also when an investor comes in, he will buy another 20%, but he will buy 20% of that 90 part only. Your 10% stays intact. That is anti-dilution provisions. You should be aware of this and you should try and negotiate for your ESOP pool to be anti-dilutive till Series A, Series B, Series C or wherever you can. Then investors' right to information. Obviously, as an investor, he has all rights to information. There would be things stating that investor has all right to information. He can visit the office anytime. He can see any papers. He can see anything, which I think founders should be open. And founders' obligation is to make sure that investors' comfort is always there, because as an investor, people sometimes think investor is like a stick on our head, but at times, if you think of it the other way, he's not the stick on your head. He is actually the reason which is helping you to stay aligned or stay in the direction. He will only make money when you make money. So he is not there to, make you waver. He is there to help you make money or reach new heights. Next slide. So, and then during the term sheet, a lot of time, who will pay the legal expense? Generally it is borne by the company, so it goes from the amount that comes in. So suppose 2 crores are coming in and there is a 10 lakh rupee legal fee, due diligence fee, it goes from that 2 crores. Non-disclosure requirements, at times there is a NDA signed that you are not allowed to disclose the terms of rights. So a lot of times newspapers give out that 3 million invested in this company or 20 million invested in this company, and the valuation is not out. So it's a non-disclosure thing. Valuation cannot come out. Right to future investment. As an investor, I would want my percentage to be intact. So I would keep the right of investing further. So suppose at next round, another investor is investing. So I would also have that right to invest in my percentage. But obviously, that's my right. But it's not necessary if I use it or I don't. Tag along, drag along. Two important terms that a founder should know. Tag along is, typically all investors keep these two things. Tag along is, suppose as a founder you found a good buyer, right fit for you, and you want to sell all your stake to that. So investor has a tag along right. Investor will tag along with you if he agrees. He will tag along at the same valuation. If he thinks it's a good value, he will tag along. At the same time, on the other side, it's a drag along thing. Suppose an investor finds a buyer for your company at maybe like a 10 million valuation. You don't agree with it. You think it's more. But investor will have that drag along right, saying that this is 10 million valuation and you are also forced to exit. You are also making a lot of money and I feel this is a right fit. So these are the two terms in the term sheet. A lot of people don't even understand it, but tag along, drag along are always there. I mean, there in most of the cases. So you should read it and you should at least be aware of things. Next. So common types of different types of shares that are being issued. It's convertible shares, which is OCPS or CCPS. OCPS is optionally convertible preference share. CCPS is compulsory convertible preference share. I mentioned about it that sometimes an investor would invest, saying that during the next round, whatever is your valuation, they can invest at a discount to it. So their shares, suppose the next round happens at 1,000 rupee share price and they have 25% discount. So their money will be converted. CC compulsory converted will be at 750 rupees. Optional is they can choose if they want it to be converted or they want it to stay at preference shares. And then there is a direct issue of shares from the company. The company issues the shares at a fixed share price where money comes into the company. Cap table. Cap table or the capitalization table is the table which defines percentage of shareholding. Who has what percentage of shares in the company is called the cap table. So sometimes, when you dilute too much at the initial level, this is a learning that I have seen with my startup. They dilute maybe like a 35-40% during initial levels only. Other funds are not interested to come in, and I'll tell you the reason why. Suppose as an external investor, I have taken 40%. New investor would come in, he would pay triple my money and he will get only 20% of the shares. He will not be interested. He will think that, I paid much lesser and I still have 40% shares. He will not be interested. So this is a learning. You should not be diluting too much. As an investor also, I would never buy too much stake in one company because I know the next round is going to be very good.